Hi everyone, welcome back to Geeks for Geeks practice. So today we'll be discussing this problem named as division without using multiplication, division or mod. I'll just wait for a couple of minutes for others to join and then we'll begin with the session. Meanwhile, just let me check that if I'm live or not. Okay, so perfect. So live started or not? Yes, the live has started. Yes, the live has started, Shruti. The live has started. Okay. Uh, Perfect. So I'll just wait for 1 or 2 minutes more for others to join so that we can begin ahead with the question. And Ankita Kumari says yes. Okay, perfect. A lot of people have joined. Okay, so I can see a lot of people have joined. So please consider giving a like and a +1 in the chat so that I know that everything is working fine and we can move ahead with the question. Okay. Okay. Yes, I am in now. Okay. Okay, so what does the problem say? The problem says that the problem name is division without using multiplication, division or modulo. Okay. So in this problem, you can see that you have to perform some division operation and you do not have to use this multiplication or division or mod operator. Okay. And you have been given two integers, that is the dividend and the divisor, that is, let's say one number x or another number y, and you have to find the quotient after dividing the division by divisor without using multiplication, modulo or division operator, right? So is the question clear to all of you? Is the question clear to all of you? Because this is the first thing, that is the question clear to all of you? Like if you divide 10 by 3, so the output will be 3. Now you will not be taking the decimal part, you will be taking only the quotient part and you do not have to worry about the remainder part. Okay, let's say you divide 43 by 8 minus 8. So in that case, since you know that the denominator is negative, so you'll get a -5 in this case, right? You'll get a -5 because 43 divided by 8 will give me what? Will give me 5, and since the sign is minus in the denominator, so the value of the quotient will be -5, right? Everyone is getting this point? Okay, perfect. Perfect. No, now, has anyone tried this question before moving on? I just wanted to know, has anyone tried this question? Did anyone try to solve this question? Because I just wanted to know, like, how did you approach? How was your approach? You can share your approach with me in the comments so that I also know, like, how to solve this question, right? So first of all, you have been given, let's say, a number, let's say x. Okay, we are not taking the dividend and divisor. Like these variables will be much better. Or let's say a divided by b. Okay. So we have to give the output. Okay, so what will be this? So let's say I have this example that is given to me 43 and I have been given -8, right? So in this case, you can see a number can be any number, that is any number can be written in the form, first of all let us see, number can be written in the form of quotient into the number of times, right, plus the remainder, right? Everyone agrees on this, like not the times but the divisor, you can say divisor plus the remainder. Everyone agrees on this? Like this is how you write this is how you can represent a number in form of quotient and divisor. You multiply the quotient that many number of times and after that you add with the remainder, right? In this way you can represent any number. I can see a lot of people, please like the video as well. Okay, now let us say that you have 43 and you have 8. Does anyone have any idea like how we can like, first of all, first things first, so in this way what you can do is, first of all, you can take the sign. What will be the sign? Sign will be, if both the values, if both if a is positive and b is also positive, right? So in that case my sign will be positive, my final sign will be positive. If my A is negative and my B is also negative, so in that case the sign will be positive again, the final sign that I'll be giving. In other cases, what can happen is, if my A is negative and my B is positive, then I can have a positive negative sign in the end. Okay, I will whatever answer I will be getting, I'll be giving it as minus. Okay, now another thing that I can have is, let's suppose my A is positive and my B is negative. Okay, so in this case I have to print again a negative answer, right? Because one value is positive, another is negative, so the resultant will be negative. Okay, so this is something that I just wanted to show. Now how can we solve such a question? Okay, now like if you were given let's say you determine the sign. So sign for the case what has been given to us is 43 and minus 8, right? So the sign, you can see that the sign will be nothing but negative. Okay, sign will be negative, but after this what you will do, you will make both the values as positive, the number which is gonna get divided and the number which will be dividing the number, given number. In both of them you can consider them, if anyone is negative, so you can just make them positive. After this, if it was simple division, so then you know that the answer would have been 5, right? But how can you approach this? Can anyone tell me in the chat like how we can approach this question? Like what is the, can anyone tell me like in first of all, in a brute force manner, right? If I have to apply some brute force, can anyone tell me in the chat how we can approach this question? If I had to apply the brute force, how can we apply a brute force to it? Like are you getting this point? Like division, one hint I'll give. So division is related to subtraction. Now can anyone tell me like how we can apply this in brute force manner? I have given you this much hint. Like how we can apply it, can anyone tell me in the chat? If you can tell me, then it will be great. Otherwise I'll be telling you for sure. You can just tell me, like Shruti, Ankita, or Bhattacharya, or Aryan, anyone, like you will try to guess it, like how we can do this? Anyone would like to guess? Repetitive subtraction, right? Naman is saying correct. For each iteration, increment by I. That can also be possible, right? So now let me tell you like how we can do this. So what is the number? Let's say I have x as 8, x as 43, and y as 8. I'm not taking the initial numbers that were given to me. I am taking it in this way. Okay. After this, what I am saying is that what we can do is, since we have x is equal to 43 and y is equal to 8, so in this what we can do is, like anyone would like to try? So up till the time I can have a quotient, right, for these numbers. First of all, let's have a repetitive subtraction is perfect. So how can I write the code for this, right? How can I write the code for this? So what I can do is basically I will have a x as 43 and a y value as 8, right? So in this, what I can do is I can also take a quotient, right? I can take a quotient initialized as 0. After this, what I can do is, while my x is greater than equal to y, right? If my number that I am going to divide, if that is greater or equal to the divisor, right? X is what? X is going to be divided, and y is the divisor here, right? Y is the divisor. So up till the time the number x, that is 43, is greater or equal to y, in that case I'll do a quotient plus plus, because that is the number of times I am dividing it, right? That is the number of times that I am dividing this number. After that, what I'll do a x minus is equal to y. This is what Naman and Shruti were trying to say, right? This is what you can do, and in the end you can do what? You can do a quotient asterisk equal to sign, right? Why? Because you need to return with the sign, and in the end simply you can return the quotient, right? In the end you can simply return the quotient. Is this approach clear to all of you? I just wanted to know, like what you do. First of all, you have 43, right? 43 and 8. So what you do, you make you put your quotient, your quotient will be now 1. Okay, now your quotient is 1 and you have this number, you subtract it by 8, so you'll get a 35 in place of this, right? Again you have 8, so now you take the second chance because it is greater equal to. So what you do with this, you simply get this 35 and you make it what? You make it simply 27, right? And you have an 8. You have the third chance. Now what you do, you subtract it by 8, 19 and 8. Again you take the fourth chance because it is greater equal to 8. Now what you do, you again subtract it. So what will be it? It will be nothing but 11, right? And you have an 8. After this you take the fifth chance, and in the fifth chance you have this as 3 and you have your number 8, right? Now it is not greater equal to, so now you cannot perform any operation. But you can see that my quotient was 1, 2, 3, 4 and now 5, and this is what I wanted, right? And my quotient is nothing but 5 and my sign is negative, right? So what I can do is I can multiply that sign, 5 into -1, I can multiply that sign, and in the end I can simply return -5, right? Is this part clear to all of you? If this part is clear to all of you, then please give a +1 in the chat and also like the video. Okay, all those who have not liked, perfect. Now you can see this from this implementation of mine. I have taken this, I have done this, but you can apply if else for checking the signs, or you can do anything like whatever you find suitable. After this you have been given the dividend and the divisor. Okay, I have not changed the variable name since it was given and I had to submit the question. So the dividend I'll make it as positive after determining the sign. After this I'll make the divisor as positive as well. After this what I'll do is I'll take a quotient variable, and if my dividend, that is the number that I have to divide, if it is greater or equal to the divisor, then in that case I'll subtract it from the I'll subtract that much part, divisor part, from the dividend, right? And I'll add a quotient plus plus. I'll keep on incrementing my quotient, and in the end I'll simply return quotient into sign, right? Is this part clear to all of you? If this part is clear, if this code is clear to all of you, just please consider giving a +1 in the chat. Just consider giving a +1 in the chat and like the video. All those who have not liked, I can see a lot of people are watching. Okay, so in this case, what will be my time complexity? Can anyone suggest what will be my time complexity? What will be the time complexity? What will be the time complexity in the worst case? What will be my time complexity? Can anyone suggest us, like, what can be the time complexity? Okay, clear, +1. Okay, so what can be the time complexity? The time complexity will be very simple. I can see a lot of people are watching today and they have not liked the video, so please consider liking the video as well. Okay, perfect. So moving on with the time complexity. So the time complexity will be nothing but order, not quotient. Okay, order of n. Let's say n was the number, n was the dividend. Okay, n was the dividend, and you had a number, let's say x was the divisor, right? Again I am assuming, so it will be nothing but order of n, right? It will be nothing but order of n. Everyone agrees on this? Perfect. Now let's move to the second part. Can anyone tell me what can be the optimal solution for this? Optimal solution, can anyone suggest, like, optimal solution, how we can do this using any optimal approach? Like, do you know, like, how we can do this? If you can suggest, then that will be great. How can we do this using any other optimal approach? Do we have any other optimal approach for the same question? If anyone can suggest. Okay, I'll tell you, no problem. So you can use the bitwise operators. Okay, you can use the bit manipulation for this. For this, you can use a bit manipulation approach. Okay, you can use bit manipulation for this. Like, how we can do this? So let us consider that, let's say you have been given this number, right? And now I am telling you that the sign is -1. Okay, I'll determine the sign early on, so that I do not have to worry about the sign. Okay, and my, let's say x is equal to what? X is equal to nothing, like, let's not say x, let's say the dividend itself, so that we do not confuse with the variable. Let's say dividend is equal to what? Dividend is equal to nothing but 43, right? And I have a number divisor for this, again that is 8. How we can represent this in form of bits? Like, can anyone tell me in the chat? Again I'll tell you, on which time do you do live every day? So it is 3 p.m. every day. 3 p.m. in the afternoon every day we do a live stream, okay, for the problem of the day. Okay, Sparsh. Now you have 43. Divide by 8, you get this as 5. You will say, okay, but how can we try to generate this? Can anyone suggest me how we can try this? So what you have to do, you have to find the quotient, right? You have to find the quotient. So what we are trying to do is, we will try to give the quotient we will try to find the binary representation of the quotient, right? Binary representation of the quotient. How we can do this? Let us try and analyze through a test case. So if we have 43, then what will be the value of 43? 43 is nothing but 8. No, not 8, not a, like, what will be the 43? What will be the 43, right? So what I can do for 43, can anyone tell me? 43 will be nothing but 8 into quotient plus remainder, right? Plus remainder. This is my 43, right? But how do I say that? How do I determine my quotient? I have to determine my quotient in terms of binary representation. How can I do that? So let's do one thing, okay? Let's do one thing. First of all, this much part is clear, like how we are trying to, we will try to get the quotient in binary representation form. Is everyone clear with this? That I want my quotient in terms of binary representation form. Is this part clear to all of you? Then I can move ahead with the solution part or the approach part for the same question, right? Shall I move ahead with the explanation? If up till now whatever I have taught, the problem statement, the brute force approach and the optimal approach up till now, if it is clear, shall I move ahead? I just wanted to confirm so that you are also clear with the question. Shall I move ahead? Okay. Okay, so I'll move ahead. What I'm saying is, let's say we have this 43, right? So we have this 43, and you know that it can be represented in the form of 8 cross quotient plus remainder, right? So this is 8. Now what do you multiply to it? Don't worry about the remainder, okay? Don't worry about the remainder. Up till now, do not worry about the remainder. So what we can do is, what is the power of 2? Like, if you have 8, then let's say you multiply a power of 2 with it, okay? Power of 2. What power of 2 you multiply with this 8 so that it does not exceed 43? It can be equal to 43, but it does not exceed 43. What can be that number? Can someone tell me what can be the number such that 8 cross that power of 2 will not exceed 43? Okay, if I do a 8 into 2 to the power 0, it gives me 8, which is very less. If I do a 8 into 2 to the power 1, so I get a what do I get? I get a 16. If I do a 8 into 2 to the power 2, so what do I get? 8 fours are 32, right? I get 8 fours are 32. And if I do a 8 cross 2 to the power 3, then I am getting what value? 8 8 is 64, right? Which value will be optimal, right? This value 8 into 2 to the power 3, this value will be lesser than equal to 43. Everyone agrees on this? Does everyone agree on this? Everyone is agreeing on this, right? So for this first things first, so what I've said is, we figured out that 2 to the power 2, 8 into 2 to the power 2, that is 8 into 2 to the power 2 will give me a 32, which will be less than 43. So this is my first part, right? This is my first part. Not 2 to the power 5. No, not 2 to the power 5, because you are multiplying a 8 as well, right? You are multiplying a 8 as well. You are multiplying 8 as well, right? You are representing the quotient. What do you do? 8 into quotient, right? So that is why we are trying to figure out what is the quotient, okay? That is why you represent a number in this form, right? 8, that is the number, into the 8 is what? The divisor, into the quotient plus the remainder. So we are trying to figure out the quotient. That is why not 2 to the power 5. Understanding this point, right? So what I can say is 8 into 2 to the power 2 gives me what? 32, right? It gives me 32. So in that case, what I can do, 8 into 2 to the power 2, this is what I can take, right? Let me just take some, let me just shift this towards the right so that I can write it better. Okay, let me just explain you once more. Okay, now what I'm saying is 43 is equal to nothing but 8, which is the divisor, into some quotient and plus the remainder, right? Let's not worry about the remainder for now. Okay, this is what I'm saying. Now what I'm saying is 43 is equal to 8 into power of 2 comma 2, right? Why? Because we discussed it that 8 into 2 to the power 2 will give me 32. Then what will be the number that will be left? What will be the part that will be left? What will be the part that will be left? Can anyone tell me in the chat what will be the part that will be left? What is the part that we have left? What is the remainder now? If I subtract 43 minus 32, what will I get? I'll get an 11, right? I get an 11 because 43 minus 8 into 2 to the power 2, I simply get an 11, right? I get an 11, right? Perfect. I do get an 11. Now how can I write my 11? So what I can do is 11, if you represent 11, so let's write 11 here. Okay, now 11, how do I represent? 8 into something plus the remainder. Don't worry about the remainder. Again I'm saying, how do I, what is the smallest power of 2 that I multiply 8 with such that it does not exceed 11? What is the smallest power of 2? Like to get 11, if I do 8 into 2 to the power 0, I'll get an 8. Okay, if I do 8 into 2 to the power 1, I'll get a 16, right? So which is the power of 2 that I should take? Shruti or Sparsh or anyone else, can you suggest me which is the smallest power of 2 that I should take? Like 8 into 2 to the power 0 gives me an 8, 8 into 2 to the power 1 gives me a 16, 0, right? I should be taking this. So I'll take this and this will be it. Okay, now what is my remainder? The remainder is nothing but 3, right? So since the remainder is 3, so that means that that 3 is lesser than 8. So now you do not need to divide further. So if we'll write this in some particular form, so what will it be equal to? It will be nothing but 43, what I told you initially, the template, 8 into the quotient plus the remainder, right? This was the template that we were trying to bake. Okay, after that we saw that 43 is equal to 8 into power of 2 comma 2 plus 8 into power of 2 comma 0 plus what? Plus 3, right? Everyone agrees on this, that 43 in terms of this 43 can be written like this. Everyone agrees on this, like Naman, Shruti, Bhattacharya, Daniel, Enormous, everyone agrees on this. Gita Kumari, all of you agree on this, that 43 can be written in this form, right? 43, first of all, you know that 43 can be written in this form, right? Something remainder plus the quotient plus into 8, right? This is something that you can write it. Now we tried to run it, right? We tried to do this. So first of all, we get this 8 into 2 to the power of 2. For this 11, we try it again and we get 8 into 2 to the power of 0 plus 3. After this 3, you cannot make another, because the 3 should have been greater than 8, but that is not the case. So in this case, let's try and take some commons. Okay, 43, 8 into what? Power of 2 comma 2. I am taking 8 common from here and here. So what will be this? Will be equal to power of 2 comma 0, right? And what will I add? Plus 3. Okay, now does this look like 43 is equal to 8 into some quotient plus remainder? Now can you observe this? Do you get this? Like we have reached the solution. Do you see that we have almost reached the solution? Like this is the quotient, and this is what we were talking about. This is what you can represent 43 like this, and this is what I'm getting. Like you can give a +1 in the chat if this much part is understood, so that I can move to the coding part as well. I can see a lot of people are watching. Please like the video. Okay, now Now what I'm saying is, now let's take out this quotient. So what is this quotient? Quotient is nothing but what it is. It is power of 2 comma 2 plus power of 2 comma 0, right? Okay, just tell me one thing. If I do one left shift 2, what will I get? One left shift 2, what will I get? What will I get if I do a one left shift 2? What will I get? Can someone tell me? One left shift 2, what will I get? What will I get if I do a one left shift 2? What will I get? Can someone tell me in the chat? Like, suppose that I don't know. What will I get? Anyone can tell me? Like Shruti, can you tell me? Or Ron, you can tell me, or anyone else? One left shift 2, what will I get? I hope that you all know the bitwise operator. So what will I get? No one is able to answer. Shall I answer it? So you'll get a 4, right? You'll get a 4. And what if I do a 1 left shift with 0? So I'll get 1, okay? Right, perfect. Naman, your answer is correct. So what I'm saying is, I'm trying to right. So what I'm trying to say is that what I told you was that let's represent the quotient in binary form, okay? In binary form. Okay, what will be the value of k left shift I? Let's say not k, let's say x left shift I. Let's say there is a number, let's say a, okay, a left shift I. What will I get? What will I get if I do a left shift I? What will I get? Does anyone know? So I'll get a into 2 to the power of I, right? This is what I'll get, right? This is what I'll get. Now if I do a 1 left shift I, I'm just telling you something about the bitwise operators. So I'll get nothing but 2 to the power of I, 1 into 2 to the power of I, right? This is what I'll get. So this is what I'm saying. If you do a 8 left shift with what? This is what I'm trying to say, that you get 8 into 2 to the power 2 plus 2 to the power 1, right? This is what you are getting. And what is it? So you do not need to consider 8 because you have already considered it, and you only focus on the quotient part. So since you are only focusing on the quotient part, so what will be it? So this will be nothing but 2 to the power 2, that is 4, plus 1, which gives me 5, right? 43 divided by 8 gives me a 5, and I am getting a 5 through this bitwise as well, right? We tried to represent our quotient in form of binary, right? Binary, zeros and ones. So this is what I'll get, right? Everyone agrees on this? And you keep on adding. You try and check that which power of 2 is suitable with that particular number, which power of 8 is possible. And once you get that, so what you do? You simply try to figure out the power of 2 and you keep on adding the power of 2's, right? And in this way, you can finally build up the divisor, the quotient, right? In this way, in the end, you can finally build up the quotient. Does everyone agrees on this? Is everyone clear with the part? And also, apart from this, like in the end, you will be returning -1 because the sign was initially negative, okay? The sign for this question, this test case was negative, so that is why you will simply return in the end -5. And like everyone is clear with the approach, please give a +1 in the chat if all of you are clear with the approach, okay? All of you are clear with the approach part? Are all of you clear with the approach part? Please let me know so that I can move ahead with the question. All of you are clear with this part? Right? All of you are clear with this part? Please consider writing that in the chat, because if you are clear, then only I can move ahead. Perfect. Shruti is saying +1, right? So what I have done is I have tried to find the sign of my divisor. If either the divisor is negative or the dividend, either of them is negative, then the sign will be assigned as -1. Otherwise, I'll assign the sign as +1. Then after that, I'll make my dividend and the divisor both positive by taking the absolute values. After this, what I'll do is I'll take the quotient as 0 and the temporary variable as 0, what will my temporary store? So temporary will store the maximum up that I can go for the dividend, right? I cannot exceed the dividend. My temporary variable cannot exceed the dividend, right? Because why? Because 32 plus 11 I was getting, right? So that is why I will not exceed the I will never try to exceed the dividend. Okay. After this, what I can do is, if my temporary, I'll try to iterate from the back. So since why I am taking 31, so the reason why I am taking 31 is because in this case you can see that the value of A and B are given to be, I'm telling you a thumb rule. If your A is given to be from 10 to the power minus 10 to the power 9 up till plus 10 to the power 9, so you have to, in this case you will have 32 bits, okay? You will have 32 bits. And if your A, let's suppose, was given to be 10 to the power minus 18, 2 plus 10 to the power 18, so in this case you would have, in this case your number, your quotient could have had 64 bits, okay? But since since in this case you have been given 10 to the power plus 9 and 10 to the power minus 9, so that is why like not 10 to the power minus 9, 10 to the power 9, okay? 10 to the power 9 minus 10 to the power 9 and plus 10 to the power 9. So in this case you will have 32 bits. So that is why 32 bits from where? So from 31 bit up till 0, which means total 32 bits, right? Everyone agrees on this? Everyone agrees on this? After this, what I can do is, let's move back to the code part. I'll try to iterate from the back. I'll try to find the highest at a particular iteration. I'll try to find the highest ith bit which is set, which I can add to my quotient, and if that does not exceed the dividend, when we have to use int long int, so I have to, when we have to use int long int, so in this case we are using a long int. We have to use a long int because we are trying to get to the power, right? To the, let's suppose if every power is added, so in this case that might exceed the integer, right? So that is why here in this question, if you will add all the 32 bits, if all the 32 bits will be set or it will be equal to 1, so that will mean that my number can overflow, integer overflow can happen. That is why in this case we are taking a long, okay? Now you start from the back, you start from the 31st bit, that is the maximum bit that you can have. After that, if that bit that is divisor into 2 to the power I plus the temporary plus the current sum that you are having, if that is less equal to the dividend, so you can simply add that into your temporary variable. You can add that much part, and you can also at the same time you can keep on adding your quotient, right? Quotient will be what? You will add 2 to the power I each time. You will add 2 to the power I each time to the quotient, right? 2 to the power I each time for this case. And in the end, if the sign was negative, then you can make your quotient as negative as well, and you can return that, okay? Is this question, is this implementation clear to all of you, or you guys are having any doubt? Does anyone have any doubt, or everything is clear to all of you? Just tell me so that I know, and if you have any doubt I can explain that, or if you do not have any doubt you can just tell me. So Niketan Jha is saying +1, okay, perfect. I can see a lot of people are watching, so if you have not liked the video, please like the video. I tried to explain a lot. Now one more thing that I want to say. Shruti is saying +1, okay. So what I want to say is, what is the time complexity? Can anyone tell me what will be the time complexity for this approach? What will be the time complexity? Can you explain for loop in a different slide? What I'm trying to say is, let's say for that number 42 and 5, 42 and 8, what I'll try from 31 and I will be greater equal to 0, and I can do an I minus. After that, you can see that all these numbers will not be perfect, right? So which number will I get? I'll get I is equal to 2 at when I will be equal to 2 for this, when my I is equal to 2, right? When my I is equal to 2, then my temp value will be equal to 0, okay? At that point my temp value will be equal to 0. So like log n, the time complexity for this code will be log n, since you are not since you are iterating only the number of bits, so that is why only log n will be the time complexity. After that, when my I is equal to 2 and my temp is 0, so that will mean that if my temp that is currently 0, if my temp plus 8 into 2 to the power I, that is 2 to the power 2, if this number is less equal to 43, right? So that means what is this number? Currently it is 0, this will be 32. So you can see that 32 is lesser equal to 43, right? 32 is lesser equal to 43. So in this case, I'll add it to my quotient. So my quotient will be nothing but my quotient is equal to quotient plus what? 2 to the power I, where here 2 to the power I is 4, right? So I'll add it. After that what I'll do, I'll add the answer into my temp as well. So now my temp will be equal to 32, okay? After this, once I come to the other iteration, when I will be equal to 0, then what will happen? 32 plus 8 into 2 to the power 0 will be lesser equal to 43, right? Because this value will be 40. So what will happen in this case? In this case, I'll do simply quotient is equal to quotient plus 2 to the power I, where I is 0. This value will be 1 and the quotient was earlier 4, right? From this case, you can see that the quotient was 4. So 4 plus 1, quotient is equal to 5. Also one more thing, what will be my temp? Temp is equal to 32 plus 8 into 1, right? So this will give me a 40. So that means now I have done the iteration, right? This is how I am trying to do it, right? This is how I am trying to do it. Is everyone clear with the approach? Is everyone clear with the approach, like how I am trying to approach this now? It was a very simple question, like just a little bit of maths. So that is why I'll try to find the highest set bit, right? And I'll try to represent the quotient in form of the binary, right? And whichever bit I find that it is set, so I'll add it into my quotient, and at the same time I'll keep on incrementing my temp with the divisor into 2 to the power of I, right? So Bhattacharya is saying plus 1, okay. So this is what I'm saying, 8 into 2 to the power of I, right? 8 into 2 to the power I will get added to my temp, and apart from this my quotient will get 2 to the power of I, right? Everyone is clear with this part? Like everyone is clear with this part? Okay. So does anyone have any doubt up till now? Anyone is having any doubt? And since you are iterating for the bits, so the time complexity will be log n or log of dividend, you can say. So like Shruti and all others, is the code part clear to all of you? Is the code and everything clear to all of you? Then please give a +1 in the chat. Please consider giving a +1 in the chat. Okay. Also, if you haven't liked the video, please like the video. So all of you, I hope that you were clear. So just to summarize the question, what we did was, first of all, what we tried to do. So first approach was like what you had to find. You had to find 43 divided by 5 is equal to 8, right? You had to find the quotient, and you could not use a division, multiplication or modulo. So what you could do is, first approach was a brute force approach. Using the subtraction, right? We use the subtraction part for the brute force approach. In the second approach, the number of times you were subtracting, that was your quotient, right? If the number was greater or equal to the divisor. The second approach was using bit manipulation, and for this approach we took an order of log n time, and for the brute force approach we took an order of n time. Okay, everyone is clear with this? Everyone is happy with the solution, right? Perfect. Like, is everyone clear with the solution part? If in case if you have any doubt, please ask it now. I am here for 1 more minute, so please ask your doubt if you have any doubt with this question. Also one more thing, that this question, what I want to say is that for this question, this question has been asked in companies like Amazon, and this question has been asked in Amazon and Microsoft. Okay, so you can see that this question was good. It was a medium level problem. Actually, if you know the basic bit manipulation, then you can simply do it. Okay, perfect. Is it clear to everyone? I'll stay here for 30 seconds more. Like we bring daily the problem of the days regularly, so please consider giving a +1 in the please consider liking the video and subscribe the channel as well, so that you never miss the videos that we always put. Okay, so that is it from my side for today. In case if you have any doubt with this question, so you can just consider putting it in the chat and I'll reply back to it as soon as possible. So thank you all for connecting today, and tomorrow we'll solve the problem of the day. That is for today, anagram. So make sure to you solve it. Siddharth will be taking the problem of the day tomorrow. In case if you haven't liked the video, please